Good evening all, it's the Blue Room post-match podcast. We're outside the Denbigh Castle and Everton have started the season in spectacular fashion, losing 3-0 at home to Brighton. It's not Matt Jones, it's not Dave Downey, it's me, Keith. You are stuck with me tonight, but I am with Dave, I'm with Les, I'm with Paul, I'm with Ed and I'm with Matt, and we are going to dissect that. I'm going to come to you first, Dave. Give me your thoughts on Everton and their dealings this evening.
Yeah, it was an appalling start to the season, wasn't it? Didn't feel like anybody was ready. Straight from the start, obviously all in the crowd, we're all up for it, we're all screaming. Last season at Goodison, everyone's like, we need to make memories when we're in here. And boy, did we make a memory. You go and lose a game 3-0 at home on the start of the season. You made a side like Brighton, who seem to have had all sorts of different changes since they lost Zerbi at the end of last season. You made them today look like a top four side, and that's the thing that concerns me the most. We had one lad who performed well, don't even need to say his name because I probably can't pronounce it still, but he was magnificent ahead of everybody else, and that shows you, how old is he? About 12? You see everybody else around him was absolutely shocking, and it's a massive concern straight away. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit too much, but you play like that in the opening day at Goodison, that's as bad as it gets.
Paul, how are you feeling after that one?
I think it's pretty much a mixture of what Dave said there, really. I think Tim Irabunum today was probably the only one Everton player who could cover himself in any glory. I thought he drove Everton forward at times, won the ball really well, tackled, got stuck in, tried to constantly drive us forward on the ball, but the rest of our players just seemed completely off it today. Abdoulaye Doucouré just was completely off it. Idrissa Gana wasn't really in the races either. It was just a really hard watch today, and even when we went 1-0 down, I was still of a mindset. I thought we'll get back into this, and then the penalty we should have got at half time, which, I mean, to be fair, I was still on the concourse. I had no idea what the pen was like.
Have you seen that yet, by the way?
I haven't seen it, although I have heard about the fallout behind it. But nevertheless, look, we started the season with Michael Keane at centre-back, Ashley Young at right-back, and you reap what you sow. I don't think Brighton were particularly strong today. As Dave said, we made them look like top four contenders already. I don't think they were that good. Yankuba Minte going off in the first half, I thought actually that would work into our favour. Yeah. But it just didn't happen. We didn't create anything, and we got exactly what we deserved today. We got fuck all.
We're going to bring Les in now. Les, aside from Tim Irabunum, can you bring any positives to that from today, or?
No, I'm just going to go into fussed on Sean Dyche.
Excellent.
If that's okay.
Have at it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you do get denied the penalty at 1-0, start of the second half, in those circumstances, everyone will have heard about it by now, and more will probably come out long after this podcast has been published. But you know, that does set you on the back foot. It's not fair and it's hard going. But we all knew Sean Dyche was going to start with Dwight McNeil and Abdoulaye Doucouré. Ahead of two players who we brought in for good money in the summer, and Dye and Lindstrom on loan. Two players, dynamic, can have a lot of counter-attacking football. He was never going to start them because you just knew that. But to bring Michael Keane in to play alongside Ashley Young in the defence, you're just asking for trouble, and it panned out like that. You know, I think Mikalenko got skinned to the first goal, but Ashley Young ultimately lost his man who tapped it in. Yeah. Ashley Young then gets sent off and effectively kills the game.
Not a red.
But before that, Michael Keane just backs off their midfielder for him to just waltz through and score. And when you're doing that as a manager, you are asking for trouble, and that whole result is on him. Brighton, as Dale said, Brighton were not a good side there. First 20 minutes we battered. It was very similar to Fulham last season, where first 20 we battered a team, or the first few games last season where we battered a team for the first 20, we don't score, and then the arse falls out to us. But I just thought today, you know, Brighton weren't great. Their fucking LinkedIn manager that they've got, by the way, he's going to think he's the bee's knees tonight. Oh yeah. With his fucking I'm the grounded one frigging quotes and that. He's just like...
He's doing some press-ups before bed, isn't he?
Oh, God, 100%.
He's happy. He's got his Duke of Edinburgh award tonight.
Yeah, he's got his Duke of Edinburgh Platinum Award on show. He's got his Ghetto Blaster out.
See you when you see you, lads.
Nice one, Dave. See you later, mate. And, you know, he'll feel vindicated that he's like, you know, he's done a good job there. But Everton lost it. Everton lost that game today. Brighton were all over the shot at times there, trying to pass it round the back, trying to play it short. We were closing down well, first 20 minutes, but ultimately it is on Sean Dyche, that, because you know Michael Keane has got a mistake in him, and he had a big one in him today. You know Ashley Young's got a mistake in him, he had a massive one in him again today, maybe two. And you know, you're not playing dynamic players who can. You know, did Lindstrom even get on?
No.
So,
well,
you know,
I don't know. I got off at 2-0.
I got off on 80 minutes at 2-0. But
Did you say didn't get on?
Lindstrom.
No.
And added to that, he went to 5 at the back when we're chasing a 2. You know, we're 2-0 down. He goes to 5 at the back and puts Harrison and McNeil at like wing backs. That entire result is on him, and we can't afford to lose games like that. You know, I said it with Dave on the weekly. We've got a finite number of games. Oh, by the way, the club putting that up, we've got 20 games left. Yeah, cheers, lads. We didn't need a reminder of that.
I know. What was that all about?
I know. Really pulled the heartstrings there. But you know, we have, and we don't want to see stuff like that in the last game, because it was a very, very, very avoidable result. And I'm fuming with the manager on that.
Just before I bring Ed in here, I'm going to say I thought, by and large, without any sort of cutting edge, obviously, I thought Everton were a much better side up until the second goal.
Yeah.
I thought Everton were like, they dominated the possession. We played some really nice football to get into good positions. But again, it was the final third that was lacking.
And when you look at that, there were a couple of times when Decore got in those positions and he just swatted across into the box at the Park end didn't even get his head up at one point and just lashed the ball in. You think someone like Denbigh, who's got more composure on the ball, Lindstrom, more composure on the ball, makes a better chance of that. There is, you know, there's that stat with Decore, like I said in one of the shows in the week. You know, we've won within 3 games in 4 years when he's not played. But he's clearly a player who's coming to the end of the line, and there was really no reason to start him. He should be the one who's brought in if we need something different. Our starting position should be to have those fast, dynamic players who are better at the counter-attack and can make more of the possession we've got.
Is Sean Dyche ever going to do that, though? That's the question. I think on Jack Harrison, fair play to him for saying he recognised his flaws and he was going to go away over the summer and work on them, and he's come back fit as fuck. He can run all day.
So you're going to say come back looking worse?
Les has just taken an absolute head over we've got beach balls on the go outside the Denbigh Castle here. This is the sort of atmosphere we have.
It nearly knocked me bucket hat off.
Fair play to him for working on his fitness and conditioning, but could he not have spent a couple of days over the summer learning to try and cross a ball with his right foot?
He could have done, but again, I'll put this back on the manager. He should just fucking play him on the left or the 10.
Well, that's it. Ed, I'm going to bring you in now. What do you want to get off your chest after that, Ed? Come on, have at it.
Well, thanks, Keith. I think there's too much to talk about, but for a team that's meant to have a strong point in its fitness and conditioning and be able to get through a match, we faded off very, very quickly. So maybe 3 or 4 more gappers days are needed. You know, that might do it.
Maybe they had too many.
No, you can't have too many gappers days. Come on now. It was just extremely disappointing, the fact that Brighton were able to obviously score a couple of goals pretty much on the break, pretty much because we were passive, and then just control the game and just ease it out. They must have had a lovely time the last 20 minutes, getting a nice suntan. We weren't doing anything to hurt them, and obviously we're all extremely disappointed. I think it's not terminal. It's the first game of the season. And it's going to be even crazier when we win the league now, because we'll look back at this and think, how do we do that? But we've got a lot to work on, and the thing is now, the difference between the decent teams and the bad teams is the bad teams don't learn from their mistakes, and the next 2 games are going to be vital, especially against Bournemouth. Similar profile, I think, to this Brighton team. If we're making those same mistakes again, if we're getting thrashed again, we're in a lot of trouble. So there's a lot of work to be done, I think, on the training ground. And I think there were some players who I thought actually they looked all right in the first half hour, 45 minutes or so, and then disappeared. And they've got to work out how they keep that up, because we're just going to get punished, and that's all it was today. Brighton weren't special, but they punished us, and we let them punish us, and that's why we're all so frustrated right now.
I think what I'd say in there, it genuinely felt like Brighton only had 3 attacks today, and they scored from all 3 of them. But that is all you need in a game like this. All you need in the Premier League is 3 attacks. If you take your chances, you come away with it, and that's being Everton's problem. We get chances, we create a lot of chances, but we don't take them, and it just seems to be a recurring theme for the last 3 or 4 years.
And I think essentially we started with the same team that was having issues throughout last season in terms of finishing chances. So obviously, if you play the same players in the same system with the same ideas, you'll get the same results. It's slightly a personnel thing. Hopefully, some of the additions can change that. And I wouldn't mind us seeing us bring a different striker in if we lose Calvert-Lewin or Beto or Mope. Fingers crossed, especially on the latter.
On the striker front, I'm going to come to Matt now, because I believe you have some Calvert-Lewin issues to get off your chest.
Yeah, I thought his attitude today was very poor. He looked exactly like a player who's in the last year of his contract.
Correct.
Like, I am the last person to ever criticise players for not having enough energy or enough whatever, but just feel like today there was no closing down the goalie, nothing like that. There was a couple of times when their defenders were just walking out with it, and he was just stood there watching them, and the whole crowd's getting on his back, which I don't like, but in this case it was deserved. Like, I just didn't like it at all. It just didn't look right at all to me, and yeah, something's got to give there, really. Like, I don't think, especially a manager like Sean Dyche, I don't think he's going to tolerate a player strolling around the pitch for 12 months and then leaving on a free. I think we could probably see him either sold or dropped sooner rather than later.
I was going to say, lads, what do you think happens there? Because I know it's one game in, but I've got to echo what Matt said. I thought his attitude today, his performance overall, wasn't like someone who wants to be here long term. So what do you do? Like, I know there's talk of another striker like Nketiah coming in on loan apparently. Wouldn't be my choice, but beggars can't be choosers at this point. Do you take the offer for Calvert-Lewin now? Do you sell him now, or do you do what Dyche seems to want to do and keep him for the 12 months? What do you do?
I mean, there's 2 things here, Keith. What the lads have mentioned there that properly is like pissing me off. Firstly, that's a golden opportunity for Sean Dyche to get us into. We're standing outside Denbigh with beach balls. Everyone's the season started. We're at Goodison for the last time. Everyone has the emotional. It's relatively sunny. Come out of that game, I think it's a really easy choice he had there to pick that team. Like Les said before, with the new players we've got and all that. Everybody's
it's almost a free hit, isn't it?
Correct.
The first game of the season.
Absolutely right.
You're not already in a battle. It's a free hit. You're at home. Try and get the crowd on side and get them excited. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly, and the thing is, it's like you can lose a game at home if you think, that was unlucky, that lose 3-2, someone scores a last minute, you've missed a load of chances, and you're like, it's hard luck that we're going to Spurs, we've got a chance there. I'm shitting myself going to Spurs already, I have to say that. And it feels like Bournemouth to 6 points already. I'm going too far there, obviously, because everyone gets those knee-jerk reactions as soon as you've started the season. And the other thing there, when the lads there were talking about the striker, it seems to me it's a common theme every single summer. I know we've had the financial issues that we've all banged on about for a long time now, several years now we've been speaking about that. Everton can go and get a striker, Everton can go and get a centre forward who's official enough not have Dominic Calvert-Lewin start games. And I think Matt there, the point he makes, he's far too kind-hearted towards Calvert-Lewin there. Like he said himself, he doesn't like going in on players.
For a ruthless manager, he's not been very ruthless, has he?
No, exactly. And you know, this is the thing that really annoys me a lot. And it's obviously away from the game as much as everyone was saying about Calvert-Lewin today anyway. What's the alternative? Where's the alternative? When's the last time Everton had an alternate to a striker to put up there on their own? Beto, come on. Let's face it, lad can't kick a ball. You've got Mope, who everyone wants gone, and we'll give him the 61 taxi right now, a 61 bus from Queen Square right now.
He's driving the 61 bus, Beto.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And he'd probably crash it. The problem you've got is, how is that not obvious? All of us screaming over the summer. And look, you do get that little positive feeling where you're like, we'll be decent here. What did we do preview season? Talking to yourself, there's you going, yeah, I think we'll be alright. When we did the prediction thing, I'm not by any means saying I was right, but I said 14th while everyone else is saying 8.
8th is looking a bit of a pipe dream now.
Yeah, 8. I had a 1 before it maybe.
Right, there's Wally. Oh, hang on, there's Wally as well. Right, we have a team of Where's Wally's walking past now. They look as disappointed with Everton as we do. Now, unfortunately, I think Everton are a bit unlucky on the striker front in that you've got your young lad Chamiti, who looked very, very good.
Just tell what everyone's shouting about there, Keith, by the way.
The Where's Wally's are getting...
There's a Hindu walking past us all dressed as Where's Wally's.
They're getting the red and white shite treatment. I think we're unlucky in the fact that you've got Chamiti, who looked very, very promising in pre-season, only to get injured and end up having to get an operation, which may have... Oh, he nearly lost the beach ball there. It may have influenced decisions. You take Calvert-Lewin out, you've got to put Beto in. If you take Beto out, you've got to put Mope in.
That's not an issue for you. What you mentioned about Schmidt is perfectly right. But can you play? Look at the other clubs in the Premier League have more than one alternate striker to who they've got. Add to the fact that you've got Calvert-Lewin there, who was injured for pretty much half the season, maybe more.
Well, we've got 3 alternate strikers. They're all just shite or injured.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. You've got Sean Dyche meant to be a manager that's strictly getting everybody fit. Where's he losing is the concept of actually getting another striker in there when he's like, look, we don't know behind closed doors if it's him and Thelwell who are going out and getting these players together and whatnot and having to agree. I would imagine he has to get the final word on it, Sean Dyche, about the players he gets in. But where's anybody else? Is someone from the academy sitting there waiting? Absolutely not.
I mean, the only place I can see Thelwell going out to is a Dungeons and Dragons convention. The man is like ill-equipped for high-level football, but that's by the by. We'll move on from that. So, on a couple of contentious issues today, I'll come to you first, Paul. For me, it was a massive penalty at the end of the first half at 1-0 down, where was it Minter that come in and had to go off afterwards?
Yeah.
Where he ran in from 30 yards. And it looked like he'd essentially just ran through the back of Mikalenko, made zero attempt to play the ball. And because he went down holding his head, the referee waved play on. And to my knowledge, it wasn't even looked at by VAR.
No, it was... I think you're right. I think Mikalenko, Minte, there was a coming together. The Brighton fans, I could hear them from where I'm sat. There was a strong appeal that went up. Minte went off with concussion and he wasn't too happy going off with it. I was delighted because I thought he was causing us problems. But I would even say, in addition to that, I'd probably say very early in the first half, Tarkowski put quite a rash challenge in on, I think it might have been Danny Welbeck, and at the time I thought that could be a pen, but we got away with it. Hooper wave play on.
The Calvert-Lewin one though is, for me, I'm going to put my opinion here, having seen the video highlights of it, that's a stick-on penalty, right? They've disallowed that penalty, the reasoning being that Calvert-Lewin has stood on Dunk's foot. Why has he stood on Dunk's foot? It's because Dunk slid in and not got the ball.
Yeah. God's honest truth on this, I was still on the concourse when the penalty was given. So when I walked up, I asked everyone around me, was it a pen? The lad who sits next to me was adamant, Stonewall pen, took his legs away. And then when I seen Hooper going towards the screen, I thought, this is only going one way.
Didn't even see nothing on the screen.
And that is the thing I want to come on to. I'm not going to use this as an excuse to say, oh, that's why we never won today. Because we could have got something out. And I've watched a clip today of Simon Hooper looking at a screen which literally says VAR and a Premier League logo, and he's turned around and went, oh yeah, I got that wrong, lads, not a penalty. How the fuck has he got that judgment? And then on TalkSport it says he was looking at a monitor on the floor where the VAR station. How the fuck has he managed that? Because I'm not being funny, there's a concrete floor in the Bullens, and to my knowledge there's no fucking backup monitor they refer to.
But doesn't that immediately go to VAR, who've said check it anyway? They're obviously going to say it's not a pen, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's just the whole fucking thing. It baffles me. Like, as I say, I can't make a judgment on the penalty because I genuinely didn't see it. I was coming up to my seat at our time, but if the referee's made the decision, he's effectively made the decision, said penalty. Oh, hang on, no, I got that wrong. Like, it's just, if VAR have shown the replay and you've intervened and said, actually, Simon, you might want to check that, then fair enough. But it's just the fact he's looked at a blank screen, because I'm telling you now, there's no screen on a Bullens like that. That is the biggest load of bollocks I've heard in my life. He looked at a backup monitor. No, he didn't. He's looked at the screen towards the fucking park end. Let's have it right. It's just,
I've and ahed it so many times. You know, when Matt put in the group straight away, you said that's a nailed on pen. I was like,
He was right below me.
I didn't think it was initially,
right
because I
below
thought when he stood on his foot,
next to me were adamant it was a pen.
But when he stood on his foot, I'm thinking, well, if he stood on his foot, then the foul's by him.
Yeah.
But what you're right about is it slid in, and then he's put his foot down. And
why
then
is
fell
his
over.
foot there to stand on?
And he's missed him having a shot. He's missed him having a shot as well.
Yeah.
He's prevented him from having a shot on goal.
Also, the fact that what annoyed me as well is after the penalty was disallowed, so when Calvert-Lewin went down, the ball fell to, I think it was Doucouré at the time, at Doucouré's foot when the referee gave the penalty. So we still had the ball in the box. When he overturned it, the automatic decision is to drop ball to the goalkeeper. Where's the logic in that?
Yeah.
He's given the penalty and stopped the play to prevent Doucouré getting a shot away. He might have had to turn. You know what Doucouré's like turning. He's like the Cunard line. But it's little bits like that just get on you.
Ball,
yeah.
And that's what it would have been back in the day.
And again,
years ago, it's a drop ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming back to what they've stressed this season, is that a clear and obvious error?
For the pen.
Yeah. No, it's not. He's not made a clear and obvious mistake for me.
No, because we're standing here arguing about it for 5 minutes, and clearly it's not clear and
Exactly.
obvious, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to ask Les quickly now.
We're still going.
So we're on another contentious decision here. I'm determined to get up to half an hour here. Otherwise, Matt will shout at me.
Half an hour yet?
No, 20 minutes. 20 minutes, yeah. Ashley Young sending off.
Yes.
Number one, is it a red card? Number two, why is he making the challenge?
Yeah, it looked like it was an easy nod back to the keeper. He tried to make a little bit too much of it for whatever reason, and I think I can see why people would say it's not, but the lad was clean through on goal. I can see why he was outside the area and stuff, but he was clean through one goal. He's got a one-on-one, so I think it's a red card all day.
You've got a 5'4" man saying the wrong answer.
I think it's a red card all day.
It's a nailed on me. You can't do that, mate.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I can see why people would say maybe not.
Matt's going to say, yeah.
He said it's not, but I think it was. And like I said before, you know, you're asking for that with Ashley Young. You know, people are saying, well, who else are you going to play?
Called it.
Who else are you going to play in that position? Who else are you going to play at right back? That's all we've got. Frankly, that is not our problem. That is the club's problem, and that's why we're in this position. And this is the manager's problem. We should not be starting games with Ashley Young and Michael Keane in the back four.
That comes down to your recruitment and the choices of the management, and that is where Sean Dyche, for all the credits I've given him, that is where him and Kevin Farwell have got to pick up some slack. You cannot go into another season knowing Seamus Coleman is coming to the end of his career, knowing he's picking up injuries left, right and centre. Nathan Patterson, Jesus Christ knows what's going on with that lad. And Ashley Young is nearly 40. You cannot be going into a Premier League season with those as your options at full-back. So I think, again, to add what Les has said, when he made that challenge on Matoma, I just immediately thought straight red here, because you're the last man and you're gonna commit it. Now I know Matt will disagree with that. That was just my initial instinct as a defender, seeing him. Like, it was almost like, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm gonna have to do something to claw it back here. And he took one for the team, but fucking it cost us. We went down to 10 men. So
I'm going to bring Matt in on this, because I know Matt has some strong opinions on it. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Ashley Young red card?
Ashley Young is a very experienced player. Very experienced. Like, he's about 75 years old. He made his debut against Corinthians. That's how old he is. He does not make that challenge unless he thinks it's a yellow card. And I agree with him. I think there was enough covering players. Granted, one of them was Michael Keane. So the lad behind me said it's a red card because the covering defender is Michael Keane. So, but let's go back to the law. Let's be fucking boring our farts and go back to the law. Obvious goal scoring opportunity. I don't think that's an obvious goal scoring opportunity. He's
40 yards from goal, isn't he?
maybe not 40, but at least 30. Yeah,
He's
at
a
least
distance
30.
away from it.
He's a good distance away from
The point you
goal.
made was there's still time for another player to come across.
Yeah, he's a good distance from goal.
So
He's not bearing down a goal. He's not going to have a one-on-one in that situation if Ashley Young doesn't bring him down. Ashley Young doesn't make that tackle, or it wasn't even a tackle, it was just a foul. He took a tactical foul. He thought, I'm not on a booking, I can get away with this, take one for the team.
Straight red.
And then he gets a straight red. I don't think it was a red card at all. I do not at all. I don't.
So on Ashley Young's experience, where there might be the contention that he's the last man and etc. etc. I know that's an outdated law, whatever.
I think it's like a 5% thing. I think it's 95% yellow card or 5% red card, and I think the Baldy's just gone for the most extreme option.
5% option.
So why is he making the challenge in the first place? He should be
Because he thinks it's yellow. Because it is.
but he should be experienced enough to know that he's that far out from goal. You've got a very good goalkeeper in Jordan Pickford, who is very
Don't
quick
make
off
it,
his
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Don't make that foul. Don't give the referee the decision to make. Stand him up. Make him run those 30, 40 yards into goal
I'll give
with
that.
you at your side. In a disadvantage, push him wide. Why is he grabbing him at that stage? For me, it's stupid from Young, and it's a soft red card. Is my position. It's one of those that you can
You're right when you
see.
say don't give the referee a decision to make. You're right there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's played a lot of games in his life.
A lot.
I don't think he's ever seen or been given a last man red card like that.
Yeah.
That was
He
extremely
wasn't wearing an
soft.
Everton shirt, mate. That's right.
Extremely soft.
A lot of teams will get that given as a yellow card.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Everton aren't one of them. We've seen some, let's call them contentious decisions today against Everton. Apart from the offside goal for Harrison, because he was stood in Stanley Park when he scored. So we'll accept that. But so moving forward from today, we try and process it. We try and put it behind us. Ed has just turned up with double pints. And
My guy.
let's be honest,
Like how today.
he looks like a Marvel superhero right now. Ed, where do we move on from today? Spurs next week away. Not an easy fixture, not an easy sort of task ahead of the team. What do Everton do to come back from today? Or is next week a write-off and then we rely on the cup game and the Bournemouth at home?
I think the first priority is downing these pints very fast. After that, as far as Everton concerned, I think you've got to go into the Spurs game with some degree of hope, because we've got to win points, we've got to win football matches. We can't write anything off at all. I know we've
Spurs
all...
are shit.
Yeah, there's that too. Phony. Phony, I'm hearing that. But there's a lot of points to play for. I know it's been a rubbish start, but we've got to get back on that training ground and think about how are we going to take on Spurs and beat them, because we know what they're like. They play a high line, they're very active. We cannot play immobile players against mobile players, which is what we did today.
What about if we signed him mobile?
Yeah,
Is he still playing?
I mean,
Tyrone Immobile,
he's immobile, but
Immobile.
it's close
Anyway.
enough.
Anyway,
I'd have him.
the point is, the cup is an aside. I'm sure that whatever team we put out will be in control of that game and hopefully win it. But you know, we've got to learn from these mistakes today. If we're going to get a positive out of today, it's getting such a horrible performance out the way early and learning from it and making sure we don't do it again. Whether that is utilising players in a different way, I think Doucouré could still do a job deeper. He clearly can't do it as a second striker. And there's players like Denbigh yet to have their full debut, like Lindstrom yet to come in. Maybe another signing or two, that would be nice. We'll see. I'm not ready to be fatalistic just yet. Give it until the day starts shortening. But
Yeah.
we want to see better and we deserve to see better, I think.
One thing's for sure, we need another fullback in the team, and that was before the sending off of Young today. As I said, I love Seamus Coleman like a long lost brother. I adore him. You can't rely rely on him. Nathan Patterson has been injured for almost seemingly a year. You can't rely on him. Ashley Young's nearly 40 and got sent off today. You can't rely on him. So the club need to do what they can to get another fullback in. I'm not expecting them to go out and spend £20 million on the next up-and-coming right back, but they need a body in, someone who can come in and do a job and be reliable. And just, I think Dyche is playing a game and he says new signings are unlikely. I do think that they're looking for one or two more, but ideally we shouldn't have gone into that game today with Ashley Young as our starting right back. We should have been prepared for that.
Do you feel like, so obviously I think West Ham have signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back on loan for the season.
Yeah.
Is that a deal that Everton could have been looking at? Because for all his flaws at United, he's a proven Premier League right back.
Yeah, well,
is that someone we could have looked at for at least a season?
Yeah,
while they look for the long-term success of Seamus Coleman.
He would have been a really good choice, and I think it was actually Rob Ravera on Twitter who said earlier that we've got to stop pretending that there's only a handful of players who can play right back in the Premier League, that there is decent cover out there. For me, I think Wan-Bissaka would have been brilliant. Whether we could have afforded his wages or not, who knows? But there are definitely players out there that we can take on and cover. Not, yeah, I wouldn't be offering anyone a 7-year contract at the moment. I mean, the manager's not even got a new contract as it stands. But I just think we need someone to just. Do you know what? Someone reliable, like when we brought Lucas Neal in that time, just someone who can come in and plug a gap. I'm not 4 months.
Didn't Lucas Neal fuck off after like half a season?
We got a fee for him. We bought him in on a fee, and we sold him for $1 million or
origin
two.
of the verb to Lucas Neal.
To Lucas Neal,
someone sign him on the free and sell them for a fee immediately.
But I think they just need someone to come in and just cover. I mean, it was that desperate. I know we were linked with Kieran Tierney on loan, and I know people have the views on injuries and whatnot. I think he'd be brilliant here. I've shouted for him for a while. But even Ben Chilwell, his name's cropped up over the last week. But that's what I'm saying.
End the show.
I'm not saying him because he definitely hunts foxes for a living.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no fox hunting him, is there?
Yeah, he is definitely a conservative, like through and through. But my point is, you need somebody with Premier League experience to just cover while we have nothing else there. And there are players out there. We've just got to look for them and get the good deals done now.
So as it stands, it looks like we're going to have Roman Dixon starting it right back against Spurs.
I'll try,
which is fair enough, because I have never seen a faster footballer in my life. Yeah. The man is, well, I can't even call him a man. He's about 12 years old. He's absolutely rapid. So
Wonderkind.
We'll enjoy that.
What's that kid called who fucked us off for Southampton?
Thierry Small.
Thierry Small. He's a left back, and he's crap. Absolutely nothing.
I'm just basking in his irrelevance. That's all.
So we're at a point now where I think we've chatted long enough about today. You don't want to.
Have you said that Irabunum was that good?
Shout out to Irabunum.
Yeah, shout out for Tim Irabunum. What a fella.
Ed, do you want to give a shout out to Tim Irabunum?
I mean, I was saying Irabunum.
There you go. That's a shout out to Tim Irabunum. We're going to wrap it up there. It's been a day and a half. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our night. We're gonna get the beach balls going. The pints will flow, and we'll forget that Everton exists. And we'll be back to you at this point next week to talk about Tottenham. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks for joining me, Ed, Matt, Paul, Les, who's wandered over there, and Dave, who's sat down on the wall. This has been my post-match debut as a host, and it's been absolutely terrible, and Matt's never going to let me do it again.
We were shite.
There you go, that's my son saying that Everton was shite. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. You don't need to take solace in your loved ones just yet, but get them on speed dial just in case. Up the fucking toffees.